little bit louder. We have a new format for the financials. You'll see, at least for the revenue and expenditure report. There's more pages. Each fund is on a separate page. So reporting for the month of September. In the first page that you have there is the general fund. It's a little bit different than before, whereas the percentage of the budget used is shown in total and not separate by department. If that's an issue that we'd like to see something different, we can do that. Going more with a computer-generated report as opposed to kind of manual data entry into Excel. But through the end of September, you'll notice a period fund balance there of $260,659 in the hole. I'd just like to touch on that real quick. It's due to a few things. The revenue sharing, we're always 2 months behind on that, about $115,000. The Act 51 money as well, a couple months behind. But 2 months of that would be about $100,000. And then also we have some timing with our projects. We spent with our Longmere Park project that's been fully expended, and we're in the reimbursement process with that grant. And then we also have some fund balance dollars that we've taken in prior fiscal years that we're using toward those projects as well. So we're not in a negative situation. It's just showing that due to timing. The next page is the Major Street Fund. Not a whole lot of activity that you see here for the first 3 months of the fiscal year. So we're in good financial position. We'll see that picking up here. Hopefully not too soon, but soon enough, I'm sure. Same thing in the local street fund. Some major street maintenance. We'll see that snow maintenance picking up. The library fund is the next page. Again, they're usually running in a deficit throughout the fiscal year due to the penal fines not being received until after the fiscal year. The next page is our 2015 street bond debt service fund. We haven't had any payments due on that debt yet, so all you're seeing in there is the revenue, the tax revenue that is allocated toward that. The first debt payment will be coming out in January for that bond. The next fund is the 2015 Street Bond Construction Fund. You'll see we've expended the majority of that, actually. You're seeing a big negative in there because we did receive the bond proceeds in the prior fiscal year. So you'll see that big negative number, but basically using all of fund balance that we received last year. The next fund is our EDC revolving loan fund. What you're seeing is the revenue, the interest revenue that we have one person that's currently paying on their revolving loan fund, and that's the interest portion for 3 months. So that fund has a lot of activity. The Civic Center fund is on the next page. They're operating effective revenues over expenditures as they usually do throughout the year in a good position. You see their activity again starting to pick up as ice season comes in. The next fund is the equipment fund. Nothing major to report there. Again, that's along with equipment usage. As the snow comes, you'll see that increasing as well. The next one is the water utility fund. You'll see that a big negative there, and that's due to our the CDBG freeze grant work that's being done. So we've expended a lot with that project, and we're in the process of submitting for reimbursement for the grant dollars. So you'll see that, we'll see that money coming in here within the next month. Next fund is the sewer fund. Good financial standing. We do have the SAW grant work that's going on there. So there's timing with revenues and expenses with that. But that's usually a quick turnaround with that project. Cemetery fund is next. Again, we've seen a lot of activity here in the first 3 months of our fiscal year. We'll see that start to slow down and then pick up toward the end of the fiscal year. And the last fund is the DIDA fund. And there's nothing significant to report with that fund. With that, I can answer any questions at the revenue expenditure report or take any suggestions that you may have regarding the new format.
Other than getting this online, which would be, in a PDF format would be very nice. It's a little time to absorb it. Public can see it.
Absolutely.
Okay, commissioners, any further questions for Paul?
And then just the last report is the cash balances report. Significant to report all healthy cash balances.
I'll make a motion, we approve the statement, receive and place on file statement of revenue and expenditures.
Second.
Can I include both and the monthly cash report?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to receive and place on file one statement of revenue and expenditures and two monthly cash report. Any additional discussion, concerns? All those in favor, aye.
Roll call now, please.
Sure. Roll call?
Seymour,
Yes.
Tower,
Yes.
Care,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item E, approval of monthly check register report.
The check register report was included with the packet. If there's any questions, we'll address those now.
I'll make a motion, we approve the monthly check register report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to approve the monthly check register report. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call?
Tower,
Yes.
Care,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item F, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes we need to be aware of?
Nothing to change.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, second by Commissioner Semo to approve tonight's agenda as as presented. Any further discussion or concerns? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, citizens wishing to address the commission on items that are on the agenda. 3-minute limit, please. If you are able, please approach the podium and state your name. These are items on the agenda.
Alder Bobsich, 1221 East Leonard Street, and it's considering the item M, consider approval of Heritage Dome Block Grant change order. What is that for? $6,800. What exactly is that for? It's not going to be detailed in the agenda.
You said item N?
And Lake Mary.
M like Mary. Very good. All right. When that topic comes up, hopefully we'll have everything clarified for you. If not,
And the thing is this going to cost the taxpayer more money, or, and why? And why should it?
okay.
Thank you.
These are items on the agenda. Anybody else wish to speak? Item H, citizens wishing to address the commission on items that are not on the agenda. Same thing, 3-minute limit, please. And if you're able, please approach the podium and state your name.
Bill Martell, 647 Gerald Street. I noticed on a trip by the Little League Park that you put dirt now along the third baseline. I want to know, are you planning to plant grass there this year, or are you postponing it next year? Because you had more or less your city crew doing work down there on Wednesday and Thursday at the tennis court. Now, on September 26th, I had the millage grant for the project, and you, Kim, replied that this was going to be postponed to next year. So I want to know when you had a full discussion on this at a city commission. Thank you.
Can you repeat your question?
When did you have a discussion or vote on this subject at a city commission meeting?
Can you clarify the subject?
The postponement to next year. Because I believe the city commission manager is in charge of day-to-day operations, and I believe the city charter says everything else is the purview of the city commission.
Postpone what action?
You delay finishing the project from this year to next year. More or less like Scott Street, Elm Street, Oak Street, and
Okay.
I can touch base on that in my report if you want. Give you an update on it.
All right, we're still on items not on the agenda. Okay.
Yeah, Alder Bostic, 1221 East Leonard. Is the internet working tonight, Karen?
Pardon?
Is this working tonight, the internet?
I believe so.
Okay, because we get a lot of complaints from people. The last, about a month ago or so, they said it sounded like it was Charlie Brown's teacher in the class. That's why everybody talked, and we get a lot of complaints on it. So,
We'll have to look into it.
okay. One item that came up to me was a business owner on the highway, very well-respected business owner, a long-time business owner on the highway. He was informed by one of the contractors that the opening of the highway was delayed till Monday. The contractor told him it could have been opened on Thursday, Friday, or for sure on Saturday. Is this the truth? I mean, is this true? Or is this just rumors floating around? Because these business owners on the highway are mad. I mean, they lost 2 days, possibly 3 days of business.
I do not have any information that would lead to that.
Scott, do you know anything about that? Was this delayed?
Nope, the discussions actually with the DOT, we meet every week with the DOT and all the parties involved. And their planned opening was today, this afternoon after 1 o'clock today. And my understanding, they're still doing cleanup work, final restoration, things, signing, all those little odds and ends to get it open yet this afternoon. So
Okay.
I'm not aware of any delays.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know how this construction was. I mean, the highway is beautiful. It is phenomenal what those guys did. The great work is unreal. And on the project north of the highway, on the corner of Florence and Bennett Street, around a manhole cover, I mean, there's a square there cut around a manhole cover. And, I mean, they just that's brand new road. I mean, why? And so these people are not gonna do this work for nothing. I mean, who's gonna pay for it? I mean, was there a mistake made by the contractor? Was there a mistake made by the engineer? I mean, the city of Iowa taxpayers should not have, if that's extra work, or if that's corrective work, the taxpayers should not have to pay for that. We have inspectors on this project, they're supposed to make sure everything is done right. Because I mean, it's a brand new road, and it's terrible. Thank you.
Paul, I would suggest, I don't know, the commission's not going to know every detail of each project. I would suggest coming in to discuss some of these concerns with like the city manager, the city engineers, or the engineers that are working with it. But as we move on with these projects, I know a lot of the project settles, or you run into hiccups here and there, and sometimes we just have to cut away, or if we let the road set for a while and then we do the second lift on it next year. But yes, bring it into the city staff to talk about it.
The second lift was done this year on that project.
I'm just saying, I'm not aware of like all of the details, the small details of this. And you might get more answers, these come in where you can sit and talk.
There was, today, I mean, somebody made a mistake. And taxpayers should have to pay for it.
Yeah, but thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we're still on item H, items not on the agenda. Okay, that moves us on to item I, presentation, certificate of appreciation to Ian Shackelford. Bob?
Are you going to give a little update? I can give a little update.
Yeah, you want to give that?
Again, the city commission will provide the presentation and the certificate, but again, with Ian's guidance and support, and he was a champion of the Safe Roads to School project, the whole effort behind it. Again, he had a whole team behind him, people that were helping, but without his effort, that project would not have happened. And again, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars of grant money to put in sidewalks, safety equipment around the school, and again, without Ian's effort, and it's a good example of what, as a citizen, people can accomplish. he's working with staff, working with the city, working with the school district, and really pulled this group together to move this forward, make it a much safer walking environment for the children around the school. And again, I'll just reiterate, without his effort here, we would not have all the great improvements that we see that have went in this summer.
Absolutely. The certificate reads, for your dedication service to the city of Ironwood and to the citizens of Ironwood. Through your leadership and hard work on the Safe Routes to School project, the city of Ironwood is a safer and more walkable community. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. And again, the current commission has been involved with this. This is a great thing. We know that you've been dedicated. We've run into a few hiccups here and there and funding here and there issues, but thanks to your dedication and making our routes or our city safer for our citizens and our children, and we thank you for that. Ironwood is a better place because people like you step up. So thank you.
Get it?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Awesome.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
Takes us to item J, Audience Public Safety Director Andrew DeGiorgio on ATV enforcement update.
Okay, a little over 90 days ago, we changed our ordinance to open up all the roads to allow ATVs for access to the And so in my report, I chose 90 days. I couldn't go directly from the date when the ordinance changed, due to the fact that we changed some software with how we keep our data. So just under 90 days, I chose August 1st, October 26th. We've had 7 citizen complaints. As you can see, the various violations, one miscellaneous, somebody was lying their dog, or running their dog with an ATV, so that fell under miscellaneous. During this time, we had directed patrols. What that means is I had officers specifically out there during their shift looking for ATV violations, usage, or improper usage. And during that time, we made 41 contacts or stops with ATVs or UTVs. We issued 21 warnings, and those are just some examples of what the warnings were. And basically, we kept a record of it so that if someone did receive a warning, officers were aware of it, so that if they did stop someone the second time, they would have been cited. We had no second-time offenders, so basically through our stopping, educating, and warning the individuals, we had corrective behavior. We did issue 1 citation. And basically it was for an improperly case done, but they were stopped for no helmet and no sticker coming into Wisconsin. So it wasn't an ATV citation, but the stop was initiated by an ATV stop. Comparing it from this year to last year, this may be a little misleading. That isn't for the entire year. What I did is I ran the data from the same dates from 2014 to 2013. So complaints were slightly up. 7 from 5 in 2014 and 4 in 2013. So
Those complaints were for the same basis.
same time frame. I wanted to compare apples to apples. So basically, 7 this year and 5 and 4 same time frame previous years. And then one of the things that I like to do when we do directed patrols is what are we trying to accomplish? And I listed our goals there. One of our goals was we wanted to educate our operators so they were operating safely and compliant. And then also too, we're trying to create a safe environment for the community. And then we were educating the people out there that I think there was this misconception that our roads were open for just free ATVs, but basically the roads are open to get to and from the trail. And this is basically to go to and from the trail or to and from the business, I should say. So we wanted people to understand, I think some people felt they could use it like a car, basically drive down the highway or the roadway to where they wanted to go. And educate them that they had to use the trail system, so. That was part of our process. And then the last thing, our goal was to provide enforcement, of our ATVs. I think it was very effective because we did not have repeat offenders. Typically, after we educated one time, we had corrective behavior. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I appreciate the information. Commissioners, anything you want to add or comments, questions, observations?
No, but I do appreciate the report. It's nice to see how, and keeping this track, how we're doing on it. Really useful information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Takes us to new business, item K, discuss and consider granting a request for a special event water rate for the Ironwood Snowmobile Olympus to be held January 2nd and 3rd, 2016.
Again, we do have Mr. Alvin and Mr. Gribble here on behalf of the Olympus effort. And City Commission does have a policy in place that allows you to give a reduced water rate for these type of events that are economic development drivers, bringing people into the community. And this event has been very well developed and well attended, and is really a nice addition to the area and the community. I don't know if Tom or Jim, you want to give the commission just a brief update on how things have been going? You've been doing this now for quite a few years now. And,
5 years now.
Mhm.
And it's picking up every year. We're up racing the water, sled snow, TLR Cup, pro guys. Attendance was really good last year. On Saturday, Sunday, we got weather shut us down.
Mhm.
It's growing, it's growing really well.
I'll make a motion, we approve the special request for a special water rate as itemized in item K.
Second.
I think this is a good practice. We've done this in the past, and it's a good community event.
Sure.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to approve the request for a special event water rate as described in item K. Any further discussion or concerns? Can I do a roll call?
Care,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Power,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Item L, discuss and consider awarding bid to Danslate for the 1990 Ford tandem dump truck in the amount of $6,005.
And this is surplus equipment. We did go out for bids. We had received one bid. He is above the recommended minimum. So we are recommending awarding that to Mr. Slate.
I'll make a motion, we approve the awarding the bid as described in item L.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to award the bid as discussed in item L. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call.
Seymour,
Yes.
Power,
Yes.
Care,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item M, consider approval of community development block grant change order in the amount of $6,864.07 for the City of Ironwood urgent need project and authorize mayor to sign all applicable documents.
Again, just a reminder, this is a grant that the city has received through the community development block grant process. Again, this was associated with our big freeze we had a couple of years ago, and we had some dollars that have been approved grant-wise to replace some water main that had frozen. There are some city dollars involved here, but predominantly mostly grant money. If you'll see on the change order, you'll notice that the original contract amount, just for numbers, was $402,909. There was a decreased change order in there along the way.
Correct, number one was a decrease of about $1,700, and so this brings the contract amount back to $402,346, so you're still a few $100 less than bid.
And again, it's to pay for actual materials installed in the ground. So many valves they put in, so many feet of pipe, so many hydrants, and it's based on actual quantities that have been installed. And you're still under the original contract amount.
And this change order makes sense to city staff.
It does, yes. Yes, this is for actual material installed, and again, we're under the original budget.
I'll make a motion, we approve the change order described in item M.
Second.
Paul, are your questions answered on that?
Yes, thank you.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to approve the community development block grant change orders described in item M. Any further discussion or concerns? Roll call?
Tower,
Yes.
Care,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item N, consider approval of community development block grant pay package in the amount of $120,983.05 for the City of Ironwood Urgent Need Project, and authorize mayor to sign all applicable documents.
Again, this is for the same project. It's a progress payment. And there is some balance remaining. Mike, this is not a final.
It is not, it is a final in the sense that we're holding the retainage.
Okay.
And there's a couple of small minor punch list items that, in fact, may be done already. They were given a list last Thursday, pardon me, Wednesday afternoon. And so upon completion of that, I presume at the last meeting in November, we'll probably pay off the contract, provided those items are done, as you need to get the reimbursement request information in by the end of the year.
And we also have Jake here in the audience. Just if you haven't met Jake before, him and his crew have been out there doing, a lot of this work on behalf of the city. So we do appreciate that. And it's nice to have those improvements. You go through these neighborhoods, it has really made, not only the underground, but the above ground improvements. It really dresses up the areas that he's been working in. So we appreciate that.
So what would the unpaid balance be? What is our retainage?
Just over $20,400.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay package described in item N.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to approve the block grant pay package as described in item N. Any further discussion or concerns?
And I know I made the motion, but I should
Okay.
get one last piece of information.
Okay.
This is all grant money, every bit of it, or is it?
I think there, I'd have to go back and look. There's a little bit of a city dollars that we are including, but what we're using is some of the reimbursement from the same. Long story short, yes, it's all grant money. We're getting some money reimbursed from expenses that we had when we had the original problem. So we're getting some dollars in and we're using that to offset some of the additional costs. So essentially, it's all grant funding coming in to help reimburse this.
Scott, maybe just to add to that, we could get that, maybe we could refer to the section 19, $100,000 grant that we received. That was all part of this freeze as well.
Right.
Grant that we received.
Right.
Clear enough, or was it?
Mhm.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, roll call.
Care,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Tower,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item O, mayor's appointments to the Downtown Ironwood Development Authority, Ironwood Economic Development Corporation, and Pat O'Donnell Civic Center. The EDC applications are Gina Thorson, Gary Burnett. Actually, I take that back. Gina Thorson, Robert Schwanberg, John Weisling, and Dave Ramey have, each four of these folks have reapplied, and I'd like to appoint them to the EDC with a term expiring October 31st, 2021. But we also have two others who have applied and were not on the board before, but I think they bring a new voice and new experiences. So I would also like to appoint Gary Burnett and John Parker to the EDC with the same thing with the term ending October 31st, 2021. And I believe appointing the extra members is not a problem, and that there is no max, but that there's I think a leeway for us to add a few more members.
That's correct, yes.
So those are my appointments.
I'll make a motion, we approve the mayor's appointments.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve the mayor's appointments to the EDC board, which include Gina Thorson, Gary Burnett, Robert Schwanberg, John Weisling, John Parker, and Dave Ramey. Any further discussion, concerns?
Other than to thank people for stepping up once again and helping the city do its business. That's my only comment.
Absolutely. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. I'm sorry.
I oppose.
Okay, thank you. Care to comment or no comment?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Downtown Ironwood Development Authority. We are adding one new member to replace Larry Peterson for his term ending June 30th, 2017, And I would like to appoint Mary Dufault to the DIDA.
I'll make a motion, we approve the mayor's appointment to the DIDA.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve Mary Default to the Downtown Ironwood Development Authority Board. Any further discussion or concerns? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pat O'Donnell Civic Center, we have 2 terms that are expiring. We had Marcus Ray reapply and Joe Metzger reapply. Both terms would end October 31st, 2018. I would like to reappoint Marcus Ray and Joe Metzger to the Pat O'Donnell Civic Center.
I'll make a motion, we approve the mayor's appointments to the Pat O'Donnell Civic Center Board.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve the mayor's appointments, Marcus Ray and Joe Metzger to the Pat O'Donnell Civic Center. Any further discussion or concerns? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Just a note that does still leave 1 vacant unexpired term that would end October 17th, 2017. So the Pat O'Donnell Civic Center is still looking for another member. And that concludes my appointments in item O, which moves us to item P, Manager's Report.
Again, with the report, I'm going to take a little different approach this time. Usually we go over the projects that we have on the books. A lot of those are wrapping up, wrapping up for the winter. So I want to go back and kind of recap some of the things that we've worked on over the last 2 years. Again, with this commission, you've been driving a lot of interests, improvements. And again, we kind of get focused on the day-to-day stuff and you kind of forget about all the things that you've accomplished. And it's significant. And I'm going to just take a few minutes and just touch on these. Again, we talked about US2, big project. You're looking at a $15 million infrastructure project, one of the biggest projects any city will ever see. And it's been accomplished over the last 2 years. A lot of effort, doesn't just happen overnight. A lot of people working together to make that happen. Our phase 3 water and sewer project, again, an effort on everybody's behalf to make that happen. Everything from identifying the funding to designing the project, to building it, to working with the neighbors. Again, a huge, huge infrastructure project. Most cities don't experience very often, and you've been right in the middle of it. Again, 2 large projects. To add to that, one of the goals of the commission was we have to get our streets done. So over the last 2 years, you've had a couple of different street overlay projects. In 2013 when you first started, and then on in 2015 with the millage vote that came about. Again, you're looking at an excess of $2 million put back into the local streets with pulverized and paved, mill and overlays. And again, we've flipped our streets from 20% good to about 90% good, in a couple of years. So just a huge effort and accomplishment. Again, you got to go back and kind of, look at this because, we're all moving forward, and but it's important to see what was accomplished. You have the Iron Bell Trail, a regional trail effort that is moving forward. And again, we have the first phase built this year. Again, that's a multi-phase project that has a huge amount of potential with it, not for only our residents, but also bringing people to the area. Safe routes to school, we just talked to Ian here. Ian, full 100% grant project that had some great infrastructure improvements for our safety around our schools. Kenny Studio, little project downtown, but again, a blighted project that, we talked about for quite some time, and the opportunity came together to take that down. Longyear Park, a new playground, the first accessible playground structure, I think, in Gogebic County. But again, just another one that adds just to everything that we're providing as a community to the residents. We survived through the big freeze. Again, a couple winters ago, coldest winter in, 126 years. Again, with staff support, with commission support, and we had a lot of funding you had to, approve to make all those repairs. It cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to address that issue, but it was addressed. We're getting grant money to help rebuild some of the infrastructure. But again, with everybody's support, we got through that. The year before, if I recall, we had a flood. And again, we went through the FEMA process, getting FEMA funding to help rebuild some things that were damaged. A lot of effort that went into that citywide. Again, we got to kind of recollect all these big undertakings that have taken place over the last couple of years. Downtown Art Park, another improvement for the downtown area, for the whole city that people are appreciating, just adding for, one more thing that we have in our community. not to underscore it, but the city comprehensive plan was a huge task. We've talked about that for 10, 12, 15 years trying to make that happen. That happened last year, again, with the leadership of the commission and everybody pulling together to, make that happen. And that's the guide that's going to guide us for the next, 10, 15, 20 years on where we're going. And Michael has taken, the lead on that, and that's what we're using to move different, efforts on behalf of the city forward. Mishta Housing Rehab Grant, kind of take for granted, but we've had probably 7 or 8 property owners that have benefited from that. Again, each one of these takes a lot of effort, not only to write the grant, to implement it, to get the contractors involved, and ultimately to see the investment back in the community. Another one that probably comes off our radar, but it was a huge effort on behalf of the city commission and staff, was we implemented new financial software in the city, BS&A software. Again, you had to budget for it, you had to fund it, and then it was actually implemented, and it's being used as we speak. And again, there's a lot of benefits that are coming from that to streamline our processes, get you better reports, just improve our whole financial accounting. So again, hats off to Paul and all the others that have, rolled up their sleeves to make that happen, because it's a huge effort, and it's, changing what you're doing and learning a whole new process. But again, our staff has stepped up and they're making that happen. 2 contract negotiations. You had 2 contracts that were up, AFSCME and Public Safety. Again, a significant effort. City Commission participated in those negotiations. We have 2 contracts that are in place. Again, we'll be going through it next year again. It's ongoing. But again, it just takes a lot of time, effort, and I think we have been a good relationship with staff, with the unions, with management, and with the City Commission to come to a conclusion on how to get those contracts in place. And we've also made a lot of changes to basically balance our budget going forward. There's been significant changes in those contracts that are going to help the city down the road. DPW, not to leave them out, there's been a number of equipment purchases to basically help their productivity on everything from loaders, going away from 2-person snowplows to a loader type operation for snow plowing. Number of vehicles that have been purchased, a new tandem with a belly plow. The commission just approved, authorized us going out for bid for a snowblower, or actually approved the bid for the snowblower. Again, ways that we can help improve our efficiency and provide a better service to the public. Not to leave them out, but Public Safety too. City Commission approved a new ladder truck for the fire department. Again, a big investment, huge improvement for the community, and also providing a better level of service for our residents. You've also approved and gotten funded grant funding for 2 projects coming up, Curry Park and Depot Park. Those projects are moving forward for next year. Again, some electrical upgrades in Curry Park and Depot Park, another playground structure. Been very aggressive in the blight enforcement process. You have a grant that the city been approved for, taking down up to 27 properties with that grant, blighted properties. You figure the ones that were taken down a few years ago, you're probably somewhere between, I'm gonna say 80 and 100 properties. Blighted properties that have been taken down over the last few years with this grant in addition to that. Huge impact. You don't see it all at once because it's in parts of the neighborhood and you kind of forget about where all those activities occur, but that's a huge effort on behalf of the community and then making it a better community. I'm going to touch just briefly here on community events. Gentlemen here with the Snowmobile Olympus, you've got 4 events, and there's more because there's more going on, but these are 4 major events that any city would die to have. And again, with the city's involvement, you've made it possible for these other efforts to occur. Again, a lot of volunteer work that make these happen, but you've removed some of the roadblocks in there. You have Festival Ironwood, the Snowmobile Olympus, Jack Frost Parade, Sisu Ski Fest. Again, all phenomenal events that most communities love to have one of those. And you've got, 4 of them that are very significant. And again, you've removed the roadblocks, you made it possible for those groups to go forward. We talked a little bit about new businesses. What are we getting for new businesses in town? You're creating the environment that's going to be attractive to new business. We've gone over that. Do you chase smokestacks? Do you try to get a new business in here? And yes, you do all that. But in addition, you create the environment that people want to live in and businesses want to relocate to. I'm going to just list a few, and this isn't the full list. You have across the way 906 Boom, the art studios. There's a number, I think it's at least half a dozen or more new businesses located in that facility that are providing art and other services to the community. You have the DAP that the City Commission supported. Number of businesses, and I think there were upwards of 20 businesses located within the city center downtown. And again, they're rotating some of those businesses in and out. They've expanded, as an example, exactly what you want to do into the Boom complex. And again, you're just providing the opportunities, the environment for the businesses to come in and hopefully excel. Dunham store, you see the new Dunham's is going in. Again, they're expanding their operations over there. It's going to be a phenomenal complex. They're actually having a ribbon cutting opening this Friday over there. It's nice to see that. Nice to see that, the private investment is seeing the opportunities in our community, invest their money. And I think part of that is what you're doing to create the environment for them to come in, think it's a good investment to their money in the area, and they continue to do so. We have the new XL Energy facility going in the industrial park. A lot of effort, a lot of people that were involved in that, everybody from the EDC, the IIDC, the city commission staff, to help that happen. And you're seeing that activity going over there, huge cleared area. They're going to be working on the actual building next summer to get that in operation. Dancing Raven Artworks, another private person who started a business. Again, kind of that arts theme. You're seeing that kind of infused in the community, which is great to have. Again, she bought a older business. She's improved it, made a huge improvement to it, and just one more thing in the downtown area. New bookstore just went in, new Christian bookstore up the road. Expensify, another business. And again, you're hearing the theme here. We talk about what's happening in town, and this isn't all comprehensive. This is just 15 minutes of writing these down. I think we can spend more time and actually you'll see there's a few more. But Expensify, another business that is in town. Very nice to have them here. Added a number of jobs in the area. I know the commission has been very interested in supporting their efforts going forward. Downtown, again, a lot of improvements downtown. Little Critters Kids Boutique opened up downtown. Another business, another private person that wants to see what they can do and start a business in town, and hopefully some of the improvements down there have attracted them to that area. Stem's Flower Shop downtown. Again, you look at the building down there, they made phenomenal improvements to that. If you recall, a couple years ago, we were talking about how can we tear that building down, and they renovated it. Great business, a really nice asset to the downtown area. Not to leave out the industrial park. Talking to those business owners, they're all seem to be doing fairly well down there. You're seeing them expand with some of their log yards, some of the operations. You talk to people at Plastics, they've added a lot of opportunities over there, and are looking hopefully to the future to add some more. So again, just kind of looking back, we always look forward on what we're working on. We have a lot of things to get to, but just to look back over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of things accomplished. I think you can be quite proud of what you've done as a city commission. And we're going to keep that momentum going forward. And again, no lack of things to get to, and we'll be setting priorities after the next election, and hopefully keep that momentum going and keeping the positive force going forward, I guess, and letting the businesses take advantage of that, hopefully, and seeing the opportunities that you're creating here. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
This is quite a list.
Mhm.
This is really something. This is a reflection of our city staff, in my opinion, and I personally would like to thank city staff for everything they've done over the last couple of years.
And you're absolutely correct. I mean, not to belabor it, but it's a team effort. I mean, it's a city commission, it's a staff, it's the residents that are stepping up to help with all of these projects. Without that, this list would be, half a page probably. But if you're all pulling in the same direction, we have a comprehensive plan to guide us. You have people working to, accomplish many, many things. You can make a lot happen. And we're lucky enough to have that going on. So.
That kind of leads to other matters.
That was sort of other matters,
keep
but
going?
it sort of followed right in. Sure. Just as we come to the end of this election cycle and going into another one, I want to thank all my fellow commissioners. It's been a really good 2 years. I think we represent our city well in that when we lose a battle, and every one of us does from time to time, you never see that criticism in public, and I think that's a very big thing. So it's been a good 2 years.
I'll echo that. I can't say any better. It's should I not be reelected, it's been a privilege to sit up here. And I'll thank the residents of Ironwood for the opportunity.
Sure.
Nicely said.
All right. I guess I'll wrap it up.
My question is about the grass at the Little League Park and the village fund.
Okay. I don't have a date, Mr. Martell, on the grass. I mean, that's a topic that could be brought into the city offices. And the same thing with the project, that we have going on. It's a standardized process as far as, going in to complete a project, going as far as you can, depending on funding and weather and what have you, and then finishing up a project, in a different year. And we've done it in the past. And if you want to talk more in detail about it, I'd be willing to sit with you along with city staff to discuss it further.
Do you mind if I could ask a question? This is concerning the walk on the early side. I noticed yesterday.
We are past the point of public comment. I'd like to move on and wrap up tonight's meeting.
And Mayor, we can go over those with Mr. Martell too, to give him a little more background on that. Be happy to do that.
I'll just wrap up the other matters. Again, the accomplishments are phenomenal, and thank you, Scott, for the compilation of these. And again, thanks city staff. You guys have been awesome to work with, and I think together we've accomplished quite a bit. And maybe post these on our site so folks can see what has happened in Ironwood, because some folks are like, nothing ever happens in Ironwood, but there's a lot going on in Ironwood. So maybe a suggestion for that. Again, thank the commissioners, working with them. I've had a great 2 years, and I wish them well in the upcoming election. And I guess just one other thing to add is I do have a correspondence about the speed limit on the Country Club Road. So maybe we can get staff to look at that and bring that back to the future commission.
We will.
And that is all I have to add for tonight, which would take us to item R, adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to adjourn tonight's meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
17.
Well, you can look at all.
6:25. I'm always.